Hi, beautiful women. I hope that you are well and happy today. I am, which is how I like to be. I'm working my ventral vagal. I've been out for a walk. I've been out in the fresh air. I've meditated. I have a strong morning program. I would encourage you to do the same. And I come into the day with a sense of well-being and connection with myself, with my animals, and with other human beings. So that's me. And I hope you can feel that way too. I hope that life can be wonderful for you. So let me just center myself for a second. Little bit of breathing just to calm myself down because I've been on the go. Let me think, what was I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about pendulation and titration. So two very important concepts in the treatment of trauma, used in somatic approaches, which is what I'm very much about, a holistic approach. Also used in my coaching practice with all clients. This is not just about trauma. This is a very great kind of exercise to learn to use so that you can increase a thing called your window of tolerance, which is basically about the same as increasing your resilience. And that's what you want, isn't it? That is what I want. I want to increase my resilience so that I function at a really high level, so that I have a kick-ass life that I love, and that I'm in there proactively working my life in a way that I want. And that's what I would like to share with you. So I'm kind of being of service here, want to just pass this information on. So we might start, there's two of them, pendulation and titration. We might actually start with titration. So titration is a medical concept. It's used by coaches as well, though. It's used by therapists. And what it essentially involves is taking a little tiny bit of medicine. So let's call metaphoric medicine, because I'm not into chemicals so much, even though they're necessary and a part of some people's treatments. I have no opinion on that. But it's a little bit of metaphorical medicine. And what you do with titration approaches is that you expose a client or a patient to a little bit of something slowly. And you do this so you can develop awareness around the issue or the treatment, and then you can build up gradually over time. So you see it with medications most often. A doctor will put you on a certain number of milligrams and then move you up to a higher dosage, where you've kind of got the right sweet spot that's working for you. Now, I don't deal with medications. I don't do anything to do with, I have nothing to do with that. I'm all about maximizing mindset coaching and maximizing your presence as a wonderful woman who's living to her optimal. So what I do with titration is I will work with women who have a particular issue, and it may be a very dark, difficult issue. For the women that I coach who have trauma backgrounds, that's usually what it is. It might be a nightmare. It might be a fragment of a hidden memory or buried memory coming through to the surface that needs to be addressed. And rather than take it in one great big huge lump that bombards us and crushes our spirit and puts us back into collapse mode, what we can do is we can take a tiny little bit of that memory, a little bit, and we can actually work with that. And we work with it physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, psychologically, and creatively, because you all know that I'm an artist and I actually work creatively with my clients as well. And we take that little tiny bit of memory and we will work through it and work on it and understand it. And bit by bit, we'll work a little bit, and then over a period of time, we'll introduce a little bit more of it and a little bit more of it and a little bit more of it. So we reduce it to bite-sized, manageable chunks that doesn't impede and crush our life spirit and our life. Let's face it, when we're dealing with trauma and when you're dealing with your trauma, there's nothing worse than functioning really well for a while, and then you'll have some flashbacks or something that will trigger you, and you're thrown back onto the couch, back into inactivity, back into a low level of functioning because you've moved back into your dorsal vagal, which is all about collapse, all about not being able to function well. So when you use titration helps you to avoid that place. So little tiny small steps, small chunks, work it through with a coach. And you do want to work it through with someone, because it is the co-regulating with another safe person who's guiding you that gives you that ability to really not feel alone in it. So that's titration. Now, when I work with titrating someone with a memory or with some kind of stressor in their life, because it could be a workplace issue that we're dealing with. It could be something to do with a particular boss at work who you're really struggling with, or a colleague, or another workmate that you're just not getting on with. So there's a really fraught situation that's really difficult for you. And you can break that down bit by bit in the coaching environment, work on it and titrate it through over time so that you become better at managing it. You learn new skills and you learn the capacity to increase your window of tolerance, which is akin to your resilience. That's what you want. You want to not be so affected by things in daily life. You want to live to your optimal without being triggered all the time into various states of reactivity or difficulty or internal stress. So titration. Now, bringing that through to pendulation. What we do when we titrate someone, or when I titrate someone as a coach and work with them in this way, we'll then use another skill called pendulation. Pendulation involves bringing the client to an awareness of an opposite, beautiful, abundant, gorgeous kind of polar opposite to the issue that's crippling them. So you have the titrated issue that we break down. Then we want to teach you how to swing over to a pendulated, opposite, beautiful image that counters that negativity. What happens is when you're pendulating and you move from the darkness to that light, you're effectively really developing a very, very attuned, healthier mindset. You're increasing your window of tolerance and you're increasing your capacity for stress and for dealing with the issues that you face internally and externally in your life. And it's fantastic. So it's a very simple trick to use. So you have the titrating, then you work with pendulating and pendulation. So take a really beautiful image. It could be, for me, it's always a beautiful paradise garden of flowers and abundance and gorgeous femininity and wonderful, wonderful, it might be peach blossom and cherry blossom and wonderful abundance. There might be bees and flowers and chooks and birds and nightingales and peacocks, and that's my kind of thing. That's where I go with it, this really abundant, rich kind of Garden of Eden imagery. And you work with the dark, awful memory or fragment or nightmare or issue or workplace difficulty, and then we swing you out of that quite suddenly into the gorgeous image. Now that is what pendulating is. And if you keep on training yourself to do that and you work with a coach to do that, what you end up doing is you're able to master new kind of neural pathways that enable you when a flashback occurs, or when you're in the midst of really going down because of some workplace issue, you're able to bring yourself back out. Now, it's all about self-care. It's all about self-monitoring. It's all about using the true self to witness both those areas and to come through in a way that's going to really serve your life. It is possible. It is doable. It is a really simple strategy. You do need to do it with someone, though. And I would encourage you to think about, taking it on as a new strategy. You can contact me on Facebook or through Facebook Messenger. You can talk to me about it and look at those kind of possibilities. But titration, pendulation, let's get you out of the muck and let's get you into living. That is what's possible for you. So these are two tools. They're very effective. Peter Levine uses them, somatic experiences use them, coaches use them increasingly. It's definitely a really, really solid part of my coaching practice is working in a holistic way with the human being and not just dealing with mindset, but dealing with mind, body, spirit, emotions, creativity, psychology, philosophy, and developing a kind of sense of internal community, internal true self, and a sense of connection with community out there in the world. So I hope that helps. Titration, pendulation, bring them into your life. Ask me how. You can follow my YouTube channel, Camilla Slater. I hope you will. And you can also catch me on Facebook at Camilla Slater Coaching or Camilla Slater Global Life Coach. And you can join the CSC Change Room for Women, which is a fantastic change room where a lot of this information is posted for free for you. It's a free service. It's completely free and it's really wonderful. Have a fantastic, great day. And I'm going to leave it there. I've got some work to do. See you later. Have a nice day.